of this best of 3. In the bottom right hand side, our red Terran player from Kaizi Gaming. This is Bunny. Representing Jinair Green Wings in the top left hand side, give it up for our blue Zerg player, Rogue. So yeah, just to say this in game in case this is a good match and ends up on YouTube or something, but not feeling 100% today, so it's going to be a little bit more chilled out casting. I've been trying a lot more lately to be more hype and more like shouting and more like woohoo and that sort of stuff, but unless I start feeling a little bit better today, we're going to be keeping it pretty chilled out. And of course, excuse any little coughs or anything. I'll try my best to mute up when I cough, but I keep forgetting I've got a really handy mute button to my right hand side, which I kind of had on my old soundboard, but just like not in the same way, and it was way more obvious on my old soundboard. Now I've got my mic gated anyway, so it only really picks up very well over my voice, so I can do it much more seamlessly, so I really should start doing that. I just keep forgetting. So I do apologize, as we do have the Overlord of Rogue making its way down the bottom and Overlord out to the right side. Reaper from Bunny just building up. Going to be popping out soon as we do see the command center dropping down from Bunny in the natural expansion. And Bunny's SCV will make its way out up to the top left hand side to go scout around in the early stages. Because Rogue's that kind of guy, he will go pool first. He will go rush some roaches in your face. So again, this SCV scout across the map from the very start is typically quite important and typically can do very well for you. As I do see this SCV back over the right hand side, getting ready to place down a command center as we have the Reaper of Bunny also making its way out up to the top left. SCV is going to go on a bit of a dance around here as the drone gets a bit of a nibble going in on it. The SCV ends up surviving. I mean, Ephemeron's a really nice map to SCV block on as well, so it's another reason to SCV scout on this map. Because there's no realistic other third base option, right? And now I'm sneezing. So there's no realistic other third base option, so you can go over here or here, and it's just so far away. So realistically, you have no choice other than getting your third base delayed, which obviously is less than ideal. Excuse me. As we do have Overlord speed stock, and that gives Rogue a lot of options to scout around into the main base. We've seen typically lately, Terrans going for a couple of different things, but typically they lead into bio. But we've seen a lot of like Cloak Banshee openings, and we've seen a lot of just Liberator Hellion Stim openings, just again straight into bio on either of those. This is going to be the barracks giving up the tech lab to the starport. So this will be Cloaked Banshees out of Bunny. And as he sets up the... Oh, he goes Viking first. Ooh, Viking Cloak. Viking first is kind of funky. I wonder if he had an armory on at some point here just to try and really like fake Rogue out on the scout. But the problem is with Overlord speed, Rogue's not getting faked out on any scout. So you might just stick to Cloak and actually get Cloak as a follow-up. I wonder if he's just going to end up going mech. Because this is already... If he does commit to Cloak here, he's obviously going to have like the first Banshee much later, but he might just say, well, I'm not worried about getting my Banshees up fast. No, he's okay. The Cloak's just a complete fake out. So he's just going to go into a Liberator. But he does... I mean, selling the idea of Cloak when the Viking is then already seen is kind of a weird thing, right? Because you already see the Viking, so in a way as Rogue, you still have to respect Cloak. But it's almost like, do you ever really expect this not to, not to work out? Bayonet's dropping down in front of the natural Hellions and a Reaper. Coming back down the center. Again, a few Hellions just gathering up and getting ready to run on by, and obviously looking to try and put on some pressure. I tell you what, Rogue does not have a lot of Zerglings here at the front. There's a few to the side, but considering this is 8 Hellions, there is that little bit of extra danger in this right from the start. You see that Queen getting bopped up. Hellions are going to end up backing away, and the Viking from Bunny just hanging out over the right side with the Liberator now going to head in towards the main base as well. That's going to get sieged up pretty quickly here and go straight in after this Queen. As the Liberator is going to be able to get that Overlord or so that was building. Queen and the Spore Crawler able to clean out, and the rest of the Hellions out in the center of the map as well. As we have got some Queens of Rogue just coming back to the front. Try and see what's going on. There's again a couple of extra Queens coming in there and just pushing those Hellions away once more. As 1-1 melee upgrades start up from Rogue. He will be a little bit behind on those melee upgrades, so they're going to be a little behind as the Bane Nest starts the Bane speed. You see 1-1 attack and armor on the way from Bunny as well. And again, just going to see the couple of Queens continue to push those Hellions away. Out, down, through, into the center. 4th base from Rogue over on the top right-hand side as well. And still just seeing these Hellions moving around. Trying to see what they can get up to, as we have got the Spire coming up as well from Rogue in the 3rd base. So Hellions still looking around a little bit, as we have got them hanging back. Viking firing, and he's going to try and really get rid of this Overlord. So Overlord taking a lot of damage here. It's going to get transfused up. I mean, this is a very standard bio opening, all said and done, right? I mean, Bunny's tried to be aggressive with the Hellions. He didn't really get much done. You know, a couple of Lings went down. He only lost 1 Hellion. The Liberator never did much either. And, I mean, throughout the course of the game, it's really just kind of led to this point where now you got the first 2 medevacs showing up to try and deal some pressure. This is becoming more and more common in TVZ, by the way. I talked about this a bit yesterday. The players just not caring about the creep spread and instead just trying to hit bases instead. It's so weird because we've seen creep spread, you know, for days and years and years. Creep spread has been a massive topic of discussion in TVZ. And yet, here we are with players now just saying, you know what? Screw the creep spread. Let them spread creep. Like, it's not all game long. But these drops would typically go to the front of the creep and clean up creep. And now they're like putting on pressure on 4th bases and stuff. And it's just a very different style of play. And it is happening for a lot of Terran players a lot of the time. And that's what's really, really crazy about it. As you do see our army coming across. As you see a few Marines pressing forwards. A couple creep teamers going down. You see the Muta's going to fly to try and break this position. The Bane's trying to run across the ramp. We'll see a few of these Banes connected in. I mean, a lot of the Mutas went down, though. This was a few more Mutas than this originally. So he's killed 5 Mutas, which for Bunny is already a decent trade as the medevacs continuing down the bottom side of the map. As you just see the couple of meters coming up. Spire, again, the +1 flyer attacks coming in. Still more 2-2 upgrades coming along here to the right-hand side. And just going to be seeing a couple of Widow Mines burrowing up. As you do see the Marines continue to pull back a little bit as well. Meters want to fly in. And again, an extra Widow Mine burrowed up here too. But he put on some good pressure altogether. And Infestation Pit dropping down from Rogue in the back of the main base. 2-2 upgrades coming in on the Evo Chambers. And still just a little bit of Ling Bane Mutas hanging around in the center of the map. With the Marines coming out over the left. Bunny looking to keep up the pressure. But this is where we have a lot of this creep spread kind of on the map. And it's like, well, does this now just stop you doing anything as Bunny? But like I said, it's not like he tried to slow this down earlier. And he absolutely could have done. So he's had options to slow this down earlier if he would have wanted, and yet he hasn't. And it's like, well, that's very strange to see a few Banes crashing on the right side. Like I say, I don't get it yet. Maybe they just feel like denying the creep doesn't do enough until later in the game when they can put on more pressure more regularly. Did you see the meters coming in, picking off a Widow Mine? As you do see the meters, Banes, Lings, all of this gathering back up into the center. 3-3 upgrades starting from Bunny. He really does have quite a lead on the upgrades, and Hive is pretty quick from Rogue, so it will actually sync up with 3-3 for him, being able to start his 2-2 finishes, so he shouldn't be looking to be in too much trouble there. As we do have the Ling meter just going to go flying on in towards the bottom left base. What a timing that is, just as this base is about to finish up. Wow, and he gets the Banelings there to connect on all the SCVs too. What a play by Rogue. I mean, he completely shuts that down. Meanwhile, Bunny, I mean, he's over. Oh, no, no, Bunny. Oh, Joe, why? You played a pretty good game for 11 minutes and 4 seconds. And then in the last, 10 seconds of this game, you've just completely played terribly, enough to lose the game straight up. Wow. Oh, God. Bunny, I already felt a bit shit today. Watching that didn't make me feel any better. Like, oh no. That was he was obviously distracted trying to deal with this run by at the time the Banes ran in. And that's just beautiful multitasking control by Rogue, right? He's not bothered by the fact that, he's doing two things at once. Bunny just looks at the wrong place at the wrong time, both times over, really. He was here and Rogue hit here. Then he went to deal with the attack here and Rogue hit here. And that is how Rogue is just going to get a monumental lead in this game. That was worst possible fight. And as the Muses, Lings, and Banes run forwards, the Marines are going to be chased on down. And this is kind of looking like it might just be it, as the few Banes going to try and sneak on through here. A couple of extra Marines dropping as well. And this really might just be about it. As the Mutas come in, the Lings come in. GG from Bunny, and Rogue will take game number 1 of this best of 3. Off the back of some really disgusting Baneling. So let's jump in. As into the top left-hand side, we do have our red Terran player from Kaizi. This is Bunny. Bunny, 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 Bunny. Oh, he's a song. Because Bunny kind of rhymes with money, you can make so many songs about Bunny. Show me that bunny. Well, no, that just sounds wrong, doesn't it? Hang on, let me songs with the word money in. The best songs about money? Nope, that's just literally how to make money. The 12 best songs about money ever. None of these say money. God, these articles are being way too clever for what I want. Oh, I give up. Bottom right hand side, our blue Z player is Rogue. Doesn't really rhyme with anything. What does Rogue rhyme with? Rogue rhymes. Rogue rhymes with brogue, drogue, and vogue. And in 2 syllables, collogue, duologue, eclogue, invoke, invoke, heroic, and prorogue. I'm sorry, Rogue. You're not doing so great. The only rhyme you've got going on is just like, hey, look, it's Rogue. He was in vogue. Do, 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 do. And that's basically Rogue's song. Then it ends because nothing else rhymes ever again. Feels bad, man. That's why you push back creep. Yeah, it is interesting though, right? Because it's not just like Bunny decided not to. Well, he did. It's not like that's just the first time we've seen it though. And it's like, well, Bunny, this is what you get. A lot of Terran players are saying, what if we don't clean up creep? And instead, we just try and hit the bases early. It's very weird. It's very strange. It really is a trend I've just noticed over the last week or two, and maybe I've just seen a bunch of games where the Terrans are just like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna, build up the, what do I want to say? Maybe I'm just gonna build up my, I'm just gonna try and go for the bases. Maybe I've just seen like a lot of games like that, but it really has been like a priority over the creep lately, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, guys, I don't know why I was trying to make songs for the players at the start of the game. Sometimes my mind just goes to weird places. do forgive me. Obviously, this is 1-0 for Rogue as well. Helps if we actually set the scoreboard. Got so excited about telling you guys about songs and stuff for some reason that, yeah, I don't know. We could rhyme Rogue with Dog. I don't know if that really works. We gotta buy Rogue. He likes to walk his dog. I guess so. It's rhyming. It's that phenomenon of making words rhyme that aren't actually meant to be rhymes. But you could be really and be like, oh look, it's Rogue. He's gonna make Bunny his dog. This shit's gonna be in vogue. I've run out of words that go like oak. Something like that. I don't know what's up with me, guys. I don't know why I'm trying to make everything rhyme. It feels like I'm like, I don't know, it feels like I'm trying to be Rifkin. I'm just like, haha. If we rhyme things, people will laugh. Which is not happening because I'm not rhyming things very well. to say the least, you know. To say the least. Alright, guys, Hellions are setting up. This time it is just the similar setup. It's Hellion Liberator, cancels the cloak again. It actually goes into a second Liberator, which is interesting. But you can see he's already setting up for Bio. The factory's off the reactor. He's going to build a barracks next to this factory here for another reactor. And he will start up the stim pack. I'm interested to see what the... the factory's going to build a reactor. Then what does the starport do with the tech lab? I mean, maybe just gives it up to the factory if he wants to go tanks. If he doesn't want to go tanks, then I guess he'll just use that for racks later on. There is our Liberator sieging up. There's a few of these drones already pulling away and trying to drop down a drone or two in the early stages, as we do just have the Hellions already poking their way forwards and picking away at the Queen. Again, this time it's only 6 Hellions, so it's a little less committed than what we saw last time. Just by the slightest amount. And we do see the extra racks starting up again as well. 1-1 upgrades coming in on the engineering base. And this rack's just going to come back up and drop back down on a reactor. Starport going to set up a reactor as well, as we see the Liberator escapes out to the upper right-hand side, with a few Hellions continue to move around in the center. So again, looking to see what's going on for extractors. Building up here, just getting into all of the gas from Rogue, as he wants to basically set up for just a big swell of units into the later stages of this game. Bane speed going to start up. Going to see a couple of Queens dropping down some creep tumors over here. And again, a couple of medevacs on the way out from Bunny as well. Been a while since we did the soundtrack sing along as well. Maybe I'm just in a very musical mood today. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. As Bunny's setup is, well, very far ahead on the 1-1. That's because Rogue's gone into the pretty fast spire, right? He's given up his upgrades. You can only afford so much as once. And so Rogue in this game has basically decided, oh, I want to get my spire faster and my Mutalisks faster. And for that, he will have later 1-1 upgrades. So he will be behind on points in the 1-1. But he will have the earlier Mutalisks, so hopefully deal some damage and help shut down medevacs and drops and so. He hasn't actually got those Mutalisks yet, despite the fact he has the gas. He's just not got the minerals to spend. He might need it soon, as Bunny does find himself quite heavily supply blocked. Depot's about to finish now, but it has been... No, don't kill you! Oh my god, he nearly killed his medevac with the siege tanks in. That would have been a disaster, as this tank is going to get sieged up. These Banes trying to make it into this corner. I mean, Rogue's trying to fight this off creep. He's almost just trying to jump on this really quickly, and now we see 9 Mutalisks on the way. Couple of creep teamers going down. We will see this hatchery taking some more damage here, and well, the Queen's on the way over, the Ling's on the way over. A few Marines will start to pull back as a siege tank set up here as well. Drilling claws starting now on the factory, so getting that drilling claws up and running. Couple extra medevacs coming through, and with a few extra meters on the way in. I'm just going to be seeing this. Should be a pretty easy cleanup. Just needs to get rid of that siege tank, which he does. Reinforcements are showing up, at which point you probably do need more Bane lanes, which Rogue currently doesn't have. He does have Bane speed, just actually needs the Banelings here. There's a Reaper on the top side, not going to do much. But again, I feel like the Liberators didn't really do much this game either, and it's the second game where a Liberator just didn't do much at all for Bunny, and you got to question its successes here, basically, as Marines, Hellions, Medivacs coming out into the center, and Overlord goes down as these Mutas move forwards, and they will find themselves a Medivac and the Marines. And Hellions morph into Hellbats here, a couple of Creep Teamers being picked off, so those are going to be cleaned out. That's going to be a Widow Mine to go. Ooh, actually gets the Banelings there. It was targeted on a Zergling initially, and then it actually kind of splashed over to the Banes. The Banes chased, and the Zergling stopped running, which was quite amusing, as we do have now. Again, Lingbane Muta gathering up out on the south side with a lot of this group spread. Continuing to push forwards as well. A few Marines will stem in, and as a scan comes down, going to be seeing a few of these group teamers already dropping as well. And these Lings coming through, going to get us around, so the Hellbat's going to be picked off here right away. And again, just seeing these Mutalisks making their way back up towards the top of the map. As we have got Infestation Pit dropping down from Rogue in the back of the main base. The 2-2 upgrades coming in quite nicely. The Thor on the way out. All of this looking pretty good across the board. As Bunny will bring down Marines and Medivacs to the bottom side. We're going to see an Overlord getting picked off here. I mean, at this stage, this is where Rogue has the Mutalisk count. And this is where Rogue becomes very dangerous, because he's going to be able to go into bases. He's going to be able to do exactly this. Snipe down turrets. Really just in tech labs, reactors. Those are going to be prime targets. I'm surprised he's going tech labs instead of like the reactor on the starport. Maybe just because the starport's that little deeper in the main. He doesn't want to go that far in. Doesn't want to deep dive. As again, we see a lot of creep just on the map from Rogue. It's going to be continuing to push forwards. He's not even spreading it right now, but when he does, it's going to be crossing the halfway point of the map, and it's becoming a real issue to deal with here. So Mine's going to blow up all the Banes, so that's a pretty effective run by defense. There's definitely one way to do it. Is you're going to see this Overlord being picked off as well. A few Marines grabbing that kill. And as the scan comes down to this bottom side, we're going to see the Marines stepping forwards already. A few Banelings getting picked off as well. It's a big pre-split out of Bunny's army, as we do have Widowmine trying to find something. The Bane's actually getting a few of the Marines. I mean, this is Rogue trying to run by. Oh, the Ling's actually going to find themselves a surround on the Thor. And they might be able to get into the base then. I mean, this is getting a little bit crazy, because there's obviously just units starting to go a bit of everywhere. In the end, Bunny's cleaned this up pretty nicely, though. So he's not done a bad job of cleaning up. I love this snipe on the sensor tower. Is there another sensor tower right here? Are you kidding me? Why is there a second sensor tower? I have absolutely no idea. I mean, the thing is, what Rogue needs to be careful of is that he doesn't get overly committed. He is being very aggressive off of this Lingbane Muta, and he does have a hive, but he doesn't even have 2-2 upgrades. Why doesn't he have 2-2 upgrades? I mean, that's just a major flaw in his plan. He has hive and not even 2-2 to go into 3-3. I was like, huh, I just thought you sort of just assume that he's got 2-2, right? Like, it's one of those things that you just don't really think about much, because double upgrades are just usually always moving along in TVC, but absolutely not in this scenario. That is wild to see these Banes crashing forwards again. A Thor going to get picked off right away. A few extra Marines going down. This hatchery being picked away as we see the rest of these Banelings trying to roll forwards, but not really doing much, as the hatchery does indeed go down. This command center trying to come up to the top side as well. And still these Banelings just trying to fire away a little bit. Ling's going to keep on coming through. So Lings and Mutas just cleaning up here, and Rogue is able to take a fight. I mean, down one set of upgrades is like somewhat manageable if you can take good engagements. Down two set of upgrades, there's a point at which you can't trade well enough behind, you know, how much damage your opponent's able to put out instead of you. Yes, SCV's up here being denied from mining, but this is a 6th base, because this bottom left base is mining already as well. And that's something Rogue hasn't really done this game at all. He's not really had any control of the economy of his opponent, as he tries to clean up some of these Widow mines. he's not really been able to slow down bases or expansions that much, which, considering he played such a high Mutalisk count, is a bit surprising. He's going into Ultras now, doesn't even bother with the +2 melee upgrade. I'm just going to be seeing the Widow Mines coming off cooldown here, and it's going to blow up the bio units. Ah, it's the worst feeling in the world when your Widow Mines actually blow up your own units. Like, it's actually better just to not use the Widow Mines in that scenario and borrow them, let them stand there. As the Balins crash in, Marines getting a bunch of damage onto them, as we do see the bio trying to do a little bit of something out on the left side as well. Marauder's still firing, and it looks as though this hatchery is about to go down. Nope, Zergling's on the way to save the day. Widow Mine's gonna blow those up. No, they're attacking a creep tumor. Why are they? Why he just blew up a Balin on a creep tumor? What is going on? Meanwhile, this one Marauder is actually gonna get a kill if it's not dealt with soon. This hatchery is only just going to survive. Meanwhile, Mutas make their way to the bottom left, so this base is unprotected, and Bunny is being dragged all over, and that's the one thing that Rogue's army will do well. It will run around the map, and it will be very good at kind of just pulling you out of position, very good at doing kind of stuff like this, as he does in the end commit to kill the planetary, and he has dead airspace over here to get the Mutas out and away. Trying to run by as well, get some lings into the third base, also unprotected. Rogue working off of 98 drones. He has a lot of income. A very small army, so he wants to take these smaller, scrappier fights where it's kind of not maxed out versus maxed out. In the end, this hatchery did fall. So Rogue to 9 bottom left. Bunny's still allowed to be on 5 bases then because of this base up on the top side. Elsewhere on the map, I mean, we've got top right bases up and running from Rogue. The only base Rogue is really missing is this one here that was just denied. But that said, he is trading worse than Bunny, so overall he needs to be able to take that base and deny that base from his opponent, or even take Bunny's base on that side of the map as well. That also works. If the few Banes wanted to try and crash on forward, see the Marauders are going to take the lead. The rest of the Banes are going to try and push on through, and they're already connecting in. And you get the rest of these Marauders, a few of the Marines, and just going to see the Mutalisks coming in as well. A couple of Widow Mines getting picked off, and yeah, more of the Ling Bane still trying to think about coming over. But just not quite making it there, as we do see Rogue backing away into the center of the map. Bio units still pressing forwards. Electro Creep Tumors going down, and will attach himself to a Spine Crawler or two. As the rest of these Banes being picked off, and I mean, it's a slow push from Bunny, which has found itself, you know, now on the edge of a base. It doesn't have too much creep to worry about either. You can see Rogue just trying to use these Mutalisks. First couple of Ultras on the way out, but remember, they don't even have +3 carapace, and that's a massive issue for Ultras. Ultras become very scary when they have Chitinous yet, but typically Chitinous comes in at the same time as +3 carapace. Without the carapace, these Ultras do still take a pretty decent amount of damage, so you can see already, first Ultra, no issue at all for this bio army, just melts, and yes, there wasn't anything to really support it there. I mean, that's an issue in its own. Where is the support for this? Do you have Ultra trying to tank so then the Mutas can maybe come in? This Ultra is on the verge of going down. This hatchery's going to have to be given up by Rogue. He's going to lose it. There's a few of these Widow Mines flying. Can he intercept those and maybe stop those from burrowing up? That would be great. Loses a bunch of Zerglings there as he runs forwards, and the Ultra is still so low. Bringing it back one more time. Bunny's actually out of money and not quite maxed out. As you see the few Marines simming around the bottom side. Lingbane Ultra out in the center. The rest of this bio from Bunny coming into up the left as well. A few Marines firing away on a few extra Zerglings. And the Mutas taking their way up to the top side here. Going to go in and pick away at the missile turrets. Loses 2 Mutas just instantly there. This is a base unprotected though, and the Sensor Tower is again a great target. Plus the few free SCVs. Yeah, Bunny is actually struggling a little bit for money, and right now he's actually going to start losing add-ons as well, which is always a pain. Reinforcements being shot down before extra Marines show up, and this is also just Mutas trading very efficiently here. Efficiency that you kind of need at some point as Rogue, right? It doesn't feel like he might be able to deny a base of Bunny for too much longer, so at some point you've got to start trading a little bit better, and well, that absolutely wasn't it. This Ultra just dives in past Widow Mines into a planetary fortress. And now this Ultra getting stuck on the Balins trying to retreat. The Mutalisks are still doing a good job. And Rogue has a lot of minerals, just doesn't have a lot of gas. There's a Widow Mine left over here. And these Widow Mines are starting to get a little bit scrappy as well. These Widow Mines are starting to make this a little bit dangerous. because these Widow Mines are starting to get more and more kills throughout the course of this game. And, you know, this Widow Mine's still active over here. Might even get some more at some point. Okay, the Overseers are here now. And Rogue will clean that up. Well, bottom left base is mining. Rogue has got this top right mining as well, despite losing this base on the bottom. He can't let this base mine, and that's the issue. If Bunny plays this slow, defends these two bases, and then is able to eventually just defend this base with everything, Rogue can't win this game. Like, he just can't trade well enough if he's only mining the same amount as his opponent. So he really needs to, you know, stop these bases or start trading so much better, and it's just not happening. The attempt to run in up here, shut down by Widow Mines. Down here, it's a similar sort of story. There's just not much here. It's mostly Mutalisks. And Rogue is going to, you know, again, stay maxed out, but trading so much worse. 10,000 resources lost worse off in this game. Overseers fly through, trying to sell off Widow Mines onto the Bio Army. Widow Mines were actually on cooldown and out in the front, so Rogue actually getting himself supply block there for no real gain. He does well. Maybe try and make their way bottom left, but there's Marines here. Yeah, I wonder if Rogue would be better off just bringing everything up to the top just to fight all in this one position. Mutalisk count at 17 means that he's not like, it's not like super crazy Mutalisk numbers where he's gonna run around and like one-shot turrets or anything like that. It's kind of crazy. There's a few extra Banes rolling forwards here, picking off an extra Marine and a Marauder. Ultra still trying to run forwards here from Rogue, but not really having any success at all. Mutalisks and Overseers coming down the bottom left, going to go in towards the SCV line. One missile turret already picked off, and second missile turret as well. So you will get a few of the SCVs down here also. It's one of these frustrating games for there not being a worker kill count. 49 workers dead overall. These fights just aren't getting any better for Rogue. You know, every time I look at the resources lost, it's, you know, 41k to 30k. Before it was like 28 to 38. It's just getting worse and worse. It's never getting more efficient. Midas will continue all the way up in towards the natural expansion, where they find a little bit of a lack of defenses. Kills off the research and fusion core. And again, as Rogue, you just need to try and find some better fights. And that's, you know, very easily said compared to being done. It's very difficult to do. And again, he's just been behind on upgrades a lot of this game. That gave a lot of the efficiency up to his opponent early on. Right now, this Ultra is actually cleaning up on the low ground, but then there's an army on the high ground he's not dealing with, so he's losing drones. And Rogue's worker count just isn't up there anymore, which means he's not even going to be able to stay in the game by just mining more either, which is one of the reasons he is still in this game. Again, Widow Mines just seem to be connecting on absolutely everything. Banelings after Banelings just getting connected onto and completely shut down. As Bunny gets this base, and again, this base is really the killer for Rogue. I mean, it might not even come down to that base, actually, because it looks like Bunny might win the fight up here as well. And if Bunny wins the fight up here, then Rogue's going to have to defend this base, and he might just die trying to keep it alive. And if he doesn't, then the bottom left base is going to be what wins Bunny this game, because then Rogue just can't outmine Bunny anymore. And again, that was essentially his win condition. And it is disappearing, and it is disappearing fast. As you see these Ultras trying to push on through here. Again, he is desperate to try and keep this position alive as best as he can. And he does sort of Rogue win this fight up here a little bit. It comes at the cost of losing this space down over this side. He's going to scan forwards to clean up some of the creep spread as well. Even Queen's coming up here now will transfuse up some of these Ultras that are so very low after fight of going very near to the death. Now some more Medivacs back over the left-hand side. We're going to see these Mutalisks back around into the center. Bile pressing forwards, picks off a Queen, a couple more Lings, Ultras taking some damage as well. Another transfusion hits the hatchery as you see the Widow Mines burrowing up, having to pull away a little bit further. 3 more Liberators, advanced ballistics coming in. Ling Bane army still out up to the top side here, and there's a couple of Widow Mines burrow up. We're going to see a couple of explosions going off. It's really Rogue at this point. He's ran out of the money he had from when he had 90 workers, and now he just doesn't have the money to stay in the game. And again, if you're not outmining Bunny, and you're not trading better than Bunny, how are you going to win the game? Spoiler alert, you aren't. Rest of these Marines still pressing through. We're going to see the Marauders going in after the hatchery. Lings and Ultras and Mutas still chasing down up the top side, and it does look as though we have got Bunny on the cusp of victory. What a series this turned out to be, huh? I mean, this is just going to be 1-1 as well. We've got a game 3 coming up after 24 minutes of this. Bunny, the Liberator Siege firing away, the Marines splitting backwards now, and, well, again, Rogue makes a play to perhaps stay in the game a little while longer, but, you know, these are the sort of fights where Bunny's just getting reinforcements anyways, and he's rebuilding so much faster than Rogue is. Bottom side base was kind of just being protected as well. I mean, Rogue gets this bottom base up as well now. So he's able to get that base up too, as we see 16 more Zerglings in production, a few more Mutalisks, a few more Banelings. Still those Mutas flying around. Here's the bio from Bunny. Will stem forwards. Hatchery going to take quite a bit of damage. Baneling's already rolling through. Boundary 4 is dealing a lot more damage here, as we do see the Ultras taking a lot of hits. Widow Mines going off, not really doing too much as the Mutas come in to snipe down a few of these Widow Mines. So a few Widow Mines down as the rest of this army of Rogue peels away. Sits back over the right-hand side. Can Rogue somehow find a way back in this? Wouldn't mind say unlikely. Not gonna kill the Mutas, but you know, just bring them very low. Make Rogue bleed that little bit further. Rogue peels back. This base finally goes down. Bunny is finally able to win this continuous, ridiculous fight on the top side of the map. Maybe Bunny loses his base on this side, but I'm not even sure that matters, because again, the idea is you're still going to be even on bases overall here, and as the Terran player, that's fine. He even keeps it alive. Oh, Bunny. Can you stop? At least give Rogue some hope. Nope, you've just completely killed the spirit? Okay, GG. Yeah, I mean, Bunny was just absolutely slaying Rogue at the end there. He took away every option Rogue had, and Bunny takes game 2 to tie. So, in the top left-hand side, our red Terran to kick us off here, winning that game number 2. This from Kaizi Gaming is Bunny. And in the bottom right, our blue Zerg player from Jinair. Green Wings, we do have Rogue. Shout out to the subscriber, JJND, subscribing with Twitch Prime during that game. Thank you so much for your Twitch Prime sub. Thanks for supporting the stream. Sorry it took us so long to say thank you, but you can just blame the players for playing an excellent game of StarCraft 2, keeping us busy on the casting desk here, rather than allowing us to just be like, hey, money, money, money. Bunny, bunny, bunny. I guess that's what we were kind of like in the last game, though, saying bunny, bunny, bunny. Maybe it's just I've got money, money, money stuck in my head today. I don't know why. Just, I really just have no explanation for this, I'm not gonna lie. No explanation to be given. So, as we set up into game number 3, look a little bit to see what's going on. Obviously, an STV scout from Bunny, still trying to stay safe, but it's not a pull first or anything from Rogue. Drone coming over, and this is going to be end block. I mean, this is a map where there is other third base options, this one over here, but it's still not the ideal third base, right? You would still rather have the base on the left hand side. So the SCV scout into the block there, gonna cancel that and come back to fight, and the SCV is gonna die as the drone gets it. The Reaper actually goes chasing down these couple of Zerglings which move across on the map. So Bunny will go hunt down those couple of Zerglings, and Marine is able to get the kill. Just going to be seeing this Reaper continuing down to the bottom right. So hang on, have a little look to see just what else is going on. Just gonna double check. Third base is indeed building up. It's pretty good information to have, as always. And then again, do you try and get into the main base? Well, probably at some point, but there isn't actually too much to confirm. This isn't a crazy attack. This isn't aggression. It's actually pretty passive play as we see the Reaper coming through and going to be able to kill off this queen here in the next couple moments. Well, not kill off the queen. Harass the queen for the next couple of moments. Sorry, guys. My head's all a bit fuzzy today. A little bit snorkly, feeling not so great, and yeah, you guys ever tried castle in StarCraft when you don't feel 100%? It's actually very stressful. I feel like it's very similar to it's very similar to if you how do I say this? Very similar to if you want to play StarCraft, really, I guess. Because there's so much to be keeping track of, etc. And so if your head's a bit fuzzy, you're just like, oh, can you slow it down, guys? Not to make excuses for myself, just not feeling the best today. But we have got some awesome StarCraft going on, so we just have to man up and deal with it. And you see a Banshee from Bunny making its way down the left-hand side. A couple of Hellions and a Reaper in the center of the map holding out the watchtower. Some creep spread moving around a little bit. Cloak coming up on the Banshees. Going to see a third CC getting started for Bunny as well. I'm just going to see a Reaper and a couple of Hellions making their way down the bottom. So Reaper, a few Hellions, all of this coming down the south side. Getting ready to fight into those few queens or try and run by somewhere. We'll see what happens as we do have the 1-1 melee upgrade still coming up. Stimpak setting up from Bunny as well. We do have the 2 engineering base from Bunny just dropping down the top left of this main. So getting ready to go into his 1-1. You can see this time Rogue plays very differently. He plays into a very fast 1-1 set of upgrades himself. So he plays for a very fast 1-1. Which is very different. In the last game he really rushed out those Mutalisks. This game he's going to have a pretty significant upgrade advantage. So, big difference from one game to the next here. Even just on how Rogue is playing it. As the 2 Banshees of Bunny come flying down the right side. Look as though they're going to be jumping in towards the main base. As the 2 Banshees picking their way over the spawn pool, and a few Hellions and the Reaper from Bunny escaping away up the left-hand side. One upgrade, Stimpak coming through. Hellions going to push forwards and go after a creep team or so. Do you see our Bale Nest from Rogue? Coming in, this spawn pool nearly died. Both the queens here, you can transfuse it up, so those Banshees not doing so great. Hellions, Banshee back up into the top side. Baneling Nest gonna get Baneling speed up and running. And combat shields from Bunny starting as well, as you do see the medevac coming out in production. One going to be finishing shortly, as we do see the Ling's going to jump up in towards the natural expansion. As we do see the Widow Mine going to burrow up and going to fire onto a couple of these Zerglings. With the Hellions and the Banshees back at home, this run-by is really not going to do too much. There's nothing elsewhere at the same time for Rogue to really take advantage of it, pulling units away. I mean, there's the Marines on the map, but I mean, for Rogue, this just means he's lost a lot of units across the map and not really done anything with it. So it really powers up this attack for Bunny, who is going to be very late on 2-2, mind you. He missed the armory. Zergling's back out around the right. 4th Command Center going to drop down from Bunny as well. There's Marines, tanks, and medevacs. We'll come down the left. More Zerglings around the top side. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of queens backing away just slightly, as you do see the Lings making their way across. There's a depot wall here to get through into. I mean, okay, so Ling's going to this time maybe do a bit more damage into the main base as well. This is Rogue's way back into this game after being in really a bit of a sticky scenario. And these Lings are going to get a few SCVs. We've seen 18 die this game so far. And some Marines in the main one move command. So actually the Lings are going to win the fight against the reinforcements. I felt like Bunny maybe had a chance to do more across the map previously, and now he's just missed out on that opportunity. Oh, these Banshees are just sitting in a very annoying spot and picking up a lot of kills initially. Queen does have range on them and does have vision, and there's the Overseer coming over and the other Queens too. The Banshees move away at the right time. These Marines setting up. They've got tanks to fall back to as well, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing soon enough. As you do see the Marines continuing in. Lang's going to run by again. Bunny, please learn to raise your depots, because right now he is not winning this game simply because he's got run by after run by hitting him in the face. As Ling's in the third base too, so Bunny is now losing pretty much every single SCV he has. Oh, I love the burrow there as well. It's a scenario where Bunny is really paying attention all over. It's very likely he didn't see those Lings burrowing, so he doesn't actually know about it. As Bunny's supply is really dropping. His army supply is up there, but now he's down on 1-1 upgrades against 2-2. So Rogue even has the upgrade advantage to work with right now. You can see the Sport Crawler taking some hits. The Lings still just streaming across the map. I mean, this time there's maybe a few too many reinforcements, but there's still a couple that made it up the ramp. And, well, he's actually going to... The Widowmine actually did a lot of work over here. Meanwhile, Bunny may kill off the bottom left base, but Rogue has bases to the right side he can fall back to instead. So even that's not so much of a problem if he does have to just fall back there. He actually saves this hatchery anyways, just drops the transfusions on it. Baneling gets somewhat of the connection he's looking for, and he'll clean out the tanks too. And Rogue is up almost double the supply of Bunny after all is said and done. Man, how frustrating for Bunny. I mean, his own mistakes really just needed to raise this deeper wall a couple extra times, and this, you know, maybe you lose some workers on the third base, but it's nowhere near as bad than losing workers on the natural, because at least then you can just rally your units up on the natural and then go and push the third base and take it back under control. But yeah, letting too many run-bys in really is an issue. And yeah, it's all well and good, you're doing good damage across the map, but if you're taking so much damage at home it's going to lose you the game, then what did it even matter? Now, Rogue might just give up this space. He doesn't have the Ling Bane ready because he's got so many Lings across the map. I mean, Bunny stims this time. He still didn't raise the depot, which I think is still the right call. Widowmine picks up a good few kills. Actually, only 8. I felt like it was a little bit more there. Ling's on the third base, forcing the orbital to lift off, and yes, Bunny loses, kills off a base of Rogue, but Rogue would have protected it, I think, if he really cared about it. The fact he saved the bottom left is much more important for him, and that's GG as Rogue takes game number 3 and wins this 2-1 over Bunny in the end. But man, what a series. Fantastic way to start the Kung Fu Cup 2020 number